Hello. Welcome to the
Anything Bowl,
where anything goes. My name is Miguel.
And I am Brendan.
And folks, welcome to episode 104.
We're talking about Shark Tale.
Does it... 104 doesn't roll off the tongue as nice as, anything before 100. But,
Yeah.
Shark Tale will definitely make up for that. How are you?
Good. I want to clarify.
Beer.
Everyone just clicked off.
What are you clarifying? We are talking about Shark Tale.
We are not.
Will Smith's classic animated.
Isn't Angelina Jolie in it? Or is it
She
Christina
the fish with the
Aguilera?
boobs?
There's only one.
And you know exactly who I'm talking about, too. No, today, folks, we're talking about a show that we told ourselves we weren't going to do because we didn't give a shit, and we were really, really fucking wrong. It's X-Men 97. As two boys who were not alive in 1995 when the show initially came out.
Two?
Did it?
92, I think.
Oh, that's when it's... Because it ran for like 3 seasons,
5.
right?
Which is why this one's 97. It would be season 6 of the show, 97.
Oh, because each one's like a year.
Yeah.
So with
Math. It can be fun.
I didn't do a single bit of research. And what's funny, too, is if I go into it...
the titles.
Shut the fuck up. If I go into it and I'm like, all right, let me try to find the budget. There's no information.
Yeah.
This is one of the few Marvel things that they have like no information about online, but everyone's like, I don't care because this is probably some of the best shit they put out since Endgame. Which is kind of what everyone says.
Yeah, which is fucking wild to think about. So,
can you tell me
No.
What is the Rotten Tomato score?
God damn it.
Can you guess?
I didn't want to do this. 93.
99.
Ooh.
Audience score of 95. Everyone loves it, including us.
Yes, we do. It's pretty fucking
man,
good.
it is the things I complain about on this show are when stuff just keeps fucking happening, right? And like the comparison I made to myself this morning was the sequel trilogy, right?
Yes.
The Star Wars sequel trilogy, where shit just happens, and you're like, all right, where they're like, oh look, there's a snake. The snake is hurt. Now Rey can heal. Oh, the snake moved. Now there's a dagger. What's the dagger have? There's a lip on it. Up, look, you put it up against the Death Star. Now I gotta go inside. Like shit just happens and there's no whatever.
Yeah.
This is the same thing, only this is fucking cool.
It's so
because
good.
in one episode they'll be like, this is just an example because I don't fucking remember. Be like, oh my god, man, Apocalypse is here, and he's turned everyone blue, and they're all like flesh-eating people, and they murdered 3 million people, and the X-Men are here, and like Charles Xavier got fucking decapitated, but now his severed head is the mass weapon to kill Apocalypse, and then Apocalypse will die, and they'll be like, oh, Charles, thank you so much for your head, and he'll go, team, I just loved it, and then like Nightcrawler will show
When
up.
did that happen?
No, this is just an example.
There's so many
it's just
crazy
a random
things.
but that's let me finish.
You
okay?
missed the craziest.
So, but they'll
most
be like,
wild
oh my
shit.
god, Apocalypse, and then out of nowhere, someone will be like, this is my head now. And you're in the next episode, and someone's like, oh no, now Doomsday's here from DC. And it's every episode just keeps going, and shit just happens.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun
It's
the
so
whole
good
time.
the entire time. So,
For context, he watched the whole thing because we decided this yesterday. We couldn't think of what to talk about in the podcast. You guys are lucky we didn't look at If. Would have been so boring.
would have been bad.
He watched the whole thing. I watched the first 4 and the last 3
And
episodes.
you missed such important information.
Captain
in the middle.
America.
No, he's not the good part. Fuck him. He doesn't matter.
He really
It's
doesn't.
Cap. You know what he did? He lost his shield. Ooh.
He keeps doing that. I love.
You know how he lost his shield?
What?
This is what is important. Rogue went evil because Magneto and fucking Gambit died
That I remember.
at
Yeah.
the same time.
Well, yeah, but they talk about it.
Yes, I know, but you see it, and Gambit's death was fucking incredible. Like, that's when the show
Yeah.
really went from, this is really good to, oh my god, what the fuck just
This is
happened?
fucking stellar.
And, like, there's all of this crazy shit happening, and she's doing that, and she got really pissed off, and she went, so you're, like, not gonna help me? You picking a side right now? And he went, there's, like, government regulations. Like, I can't really do anything. And she was like, give me the fucking shield. And she just went up into the air and just chucked it. And he just looked at her just like, I gotta go get that.
I just love the fact, too, that every time a character shows up, somebody will post it on Instagram. And I'm always like, oh, this is so cool. The one frame they post is the one frame these characters are fucking in.
Yeah.
All over my Instagram feed when it came out, they were like, oh my God, Spider-Man from the 90s series is back.
Yeah.
All the comments are like, dude, this is crazy. And if you watch the show, he swings, he sits, it's the screenshot everyone's posting, and then that is it.
Dude, the fucking thing with Wolverine losing his adamantium skeleton and everything.
Wild.
2 things. One, It's the same exact thing, except they didn't even bother animating it in the thing. They're like, oh no, it came out
It's
freeze
just a still
frame,
shot, yeah.
and it ends. And I'm like, that could have been one of the coolest moments, and you gave me just one panel, essentially. And I'm like, you got to give me a little bit more there. But someone brought up the fact that he's even stronger now.
Oh, yeah.
Which doesn't
make
make
now
any
he just heals, because the adamantium's the thing that's killing him.
Why is it taking him so fucking long to heal, then? He was in the fucking deathbed for the last 2 episodes.
Plot.
Okay. Also, about the fact that he's lugging around a skeleton made of metal.
Yeah.
He got super strength now.
Pretty heavy, yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty fast.
We got to talk about the best part about the show. Probably my favorite thing about the show. It's not the fact that we're so used to the Fox X-Men, and so every person's voice does not make sense for the first episode, because you're like, Rogue is a southern white woman. No, it's Magneto's hair. Magneto's hair is fucking luscious. Oh my God. Magneto, right? We're both very straight men. Magneto's hot as fuck.
I wouldn't go that far.
He's a big dude. He's got a shirt that just has M. He's got this, and in every shot, he's like,
in the words of Rick and Morty, he got them cum gutters.
What the fuck does that mean? What did you just say?
Did you not watch that season of Rick and Morty? Cum gutters.
Now that you doubled down and said it again.
When you got the V, those like little like shoots there, they're called cum gutters.
No, they're not.
According to Rick Sanchez.
Our God.
So I didn't give a single fuck about X-Men. I watched some of the ones with like the younger cast, like Days of Future Past, Apocalypse.
Yeah, some of the live action ones are good. So, most of them are bad.
X-Men Wolverine Origins, a little underrated. I'm the only one who likes that fucking movie.
It's not a good movie.
But watching this made me go, oh fuck. The X-Men
are cool. Yeah. Like the movies
do not do their
the movies will just be like, man, Charles and Magneto are so angry at each other. In this one, you're like, okay, so they might be gay, but that's okay.
Well, it's and
then everybody else is like, oh man, here's like an entire scene dedicated to them. And you're like, oh, actually, you're a full-blown character with feelings, emotions, and you're actually doing something. Yeah. Instead of in the movies, they're like, oh, look, Olivia Munn, flip, next character.
Dude, what was really funny is when the first episode came out, I wasn't watching it or anything because I just watched it yesterday and today. Yeah. And everyone was like, oh, why'd you make Gambit gay and everything? He's got this like half pink shirt. I'm like, he wore that pink shirt and then for the remainder of his life tried to bang Rogue so hard. He did. They saw one image and went, what did you do? I'm like, clearly you didn't watch any of this show.
My favorite thing, I'm gonna name a bunch of favorite things, but one of my favorite things about this is I love watching people. I love going into the comment section on like Marvel's Instagram posts because it's always the dumbest shit. It's either somebody saying that the MCU sucks now, or quote, "This is what happens when you go woke."
Yeah.
When they've been posting about the X-Men stuff, so many comments you'll see is like, "Oh man, this show must be so good, but why are they so woke about everything? What the fuck?" And then the replies are always like, that's the entire fucking point of the X-Men. Like, it's been like that since their inception. You were just too young and stupid to fucking notice.
I hate when shows do that just to do it. Case in point, Lord of the Rings TV show. This 100%. Show, not once did I stop and hesitate about anything. Like, everything made sense.
Like, this is another example. They did it. What the fuck were we talking about where I said there was a non-binary person? In Fallout.
Yes.
Where?
No, Star Wars. Well, both. Star Wars, the Tales of the Empire.
Yes. I don't remember who it was. Doesn't matter. Anyway, in those situations, I tell you, like, oh, I didn't notice, but I picked up, and you were like, man, I hate it. In this, I was like, oh, they mentioned Morph being like a non-binary person, but not because they were trying to be like, oh, look, whatever. They were like,
he literally could be anything.
They're just like,
he wanted to. He could just be a guy and a girl at the same time.
Half and half.
Yeah.
Just like fucking himself. Just punched the mic. Genitals.
I heard somewhere that there was like sexual tension between him and Wolverine, which is where they got that from.
Was there?
I didn't see it.
Do you know where the sexual tension was?
Between Wolverine and Jane when he was trying to bang fucking Cyclops' wife?
Yes.
Like a scumbag.
Yes, he was. When she was waking up from a coma or some shit.
Like, me, you love me. She's like, he was like, I love you. And then she was like, oh my God, you love me that much? He's like, more. And I'm like, dude, she woke up out of a coma.
Scott literally just had
her
clone just gave birth to
Are you fucking kidding me?
Madeline.
Like, step down.
Do you know where
back the fuck up.
The tension was? The tension was right in the ending when Charles is inside of Magneto's mind. And the two of them are confessing their love for each other. Their straight brotherly love to each other. Only they're like this far apart. And Magneto's like,
Magneto was fine. Professor X was hugging him as he's crying and mentally
and then as he was
like,
confessing,
I will never leave you.
He was just like, but we're he was just cute. That's where the sexual tension was. And mind you, let me like backtrack.
Yeah.
We're not against homosexuality. It's just funny as fuck that they're like, no, these are two straight guys that are just really good friends.
Not gonna lie. Because it's so fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm so for it. Go for it. I want to see you send that shit.
You want to see Magneto just carry Charles around all the time like a little baby? He's like, I love you so much, Charles. And Charles is like,
so
my X-Men.
I'm going to stop you there, and I'm going to talk about something that you definitely missed.
Probably.
With Professor X, because they don't really bring it back. You saw him come back to Earth, or was he already on Earth when you started?
No, he came back.
Did you see what he was doing when he was in space?
No.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Nice.
He was marrying a woman of an alien race and becoming their king, and there was this whole race war about it, like where people were like, you can't fucking marry him, he's human. Humans are garbage. They're gonna treat us like garbage, like their own fucking planet.
Common Charles
you
W.
can't marry him. He's walking because she gave him animatronic legs, but then puts him to bed and takes his fake legs off, and she's like, here you go, babe. Like, just sit down. He was like, I'm like, why'd you take his leg? He can't sleep in those?
Those are some shitty robot legs.
Piss in the middle of the night. He gotta wake you up, leave the legs on. So that shit was wild. Also, her head, she had this giant helmet on that was in the shape of Darth Vader's head, but in like a 70s animation version of like his head. But then she took the helmet off, and that was just her fucking head. It was weird. But so
Charles still hit.
There was so much happening to where, since I didn't watch the original show, I didn't look at the comics, I don't really do anything for this.
Jumped straight balls first.
I kept screaming, I don't know what's happening. What is this? But it wasn't like I was so confused it was ruining it. I'm like, this is balls to the wall crazy, and I'm here for it.
And shit just keeps happening.
Same with fucking Storm and the Demon Bird.
Oh, yes.
What was that?
I think the best part is the same way any new show that you watch, it takes some time to get into it, and you really have to just like steer into the skid. You and I are sitting there watching, because we binged the first 4 episodes together last night. You and I are sitting there watching the first episode or two, and every chance I get, I'm like mentally picking apart the dialogue.
Yeah.
Where I'm sitting there and we're like, man, this animation's weird. And I'm like, yeah, you know, Rogue says some dumb shit. I'm like, nobody fucking talks like that. But by the end, you're like, oh yes, where art thou, Magneto, my X-Men sons? Save thy planet, my sir.
I never once noticed that.
Nobody fucking talks like that. They weren't talking like
X-Men.
people. I fucking hate that. I'm sure it's just a thing from the original one, and I get it, right? It's their calling or whatever. It's so, especially hearing it the first time, it's so sus and strange.
You kind of touched on it earlier. We always complain about too much happening or too little happening in a TV show. I complain a lot about the length of TV shows. 10 episodes is not enough. 10 episodes isn't whatever. 10 episodes in this was more than enough. And just to talk about how action-packed it was, when Rogue went evil, which is what I tried to bring up before, I completely forgot
she also did it like in the
dude who created the Sentinels, she thought created the Sentinels, she holds off of a roof and drops him to his death, and the entire squad is just like, what the
you really
fuck,
did that, huh?
What was that? No, this is a good time to pee, but I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna leave it on, because like my bathroom's right next to my room, and I'm doing whatever. And I took one step away from like my room, and the building blew up with everyone in it. And I went, I gotta pause this. This is not a show you can walk away from.
I fucking love all of this, man. From the character designs, the voice acting is great. The story they're telling is great.
It's so
it's what?
This officially made me completely consider saying fuck it to superhero movies that are not animated.
Yes.
Just make it, because there was so much shit. There's a part where they drive a car out of their ship and it skids down a mountain and just starts going. I'm like, if you did that live action, it would have been cheesy as fuck.
It was cheesy regardless. They're in this big ass plane and they're running from the Sentinels, and then it blows up and they're like, what is our first response? Get in the Porsche.
And the final villain and everything, if they did that live action or Sinister,
it would have looked shitty.
It would have looked so bad, unless you commit hardcore to it.
Mr. Sinister was almost in, I think, the Wolverine or like whatever the last X-Men movie was.
I heard there's rumors of him still being in something soon.
No, he was like there were rumors, I think, for it might have been Apocalypse where like Wolverine was Weapon X and he was in that facility, and there was like a post-credit scene of like Sinister something. There was rumors that he would like, or it was New Mutants, where he like somebody filmed a bunch of stuff and like it was Sacha Baron Cohen or something, and then they just threw it all out.
He's not. He's the devil guy. Whatever.
We thought he was the devil guy.
No, he's been confirmed to be that guy.
I don't believe you. I'll believe it when I see it.
Google it.
I don't want
It's confirmed.
to. Nope.
But
Mr. Sinister looked phenomenal. Hilarious.
Great.
Hilarious that they went, this is some A-tier villain, and he's like all the DNA of the mutants thrown together, and he's just like, he's the B guy.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much shit going on.
Well, he was in the show earlier.
Oh, no, he was. I know.
Okay.
But even in the beginning, they were like, oh, man, you know, like, he's this big bad guy. And then the minute that literally anyone else shows up, they're like, oh, I'm just going to kick the shit out of Mr. Sinister. I don't give a fuck. So for context, right, this guy Bastion, who created the Sentinels, he's just a
Not
dude.
the robot from Overwatch.
Winton.
What?
Winton.
Okay. No one gets that.
Stuffed animal Winston.
Is that what he is?
Winton.
Okay.
So Bastion is this guy who seemingly at first to me is just a dude. And then he's like, all right, I'm going to get these augmented robotic powers because I'm a Sentinel but a person. And then it just like his costume keeps changing and he becomes more basically like a robot mutant. And then they do the most 90s cartoon thing I've ever seen, where he fights Cable and he rips his arm off and then he absorbs it and he becomes a metallic demigod.
Yeah.
With guns under his wings.
So cool.
Who could heal only until they wanted to change what his character looked like. And then his eyeball was just out.
There were several times in the last 4 episodes where I looked at my screen and I was like, that is some genuine Dragon Ball shit. And I fucking loved it.
Especially when Rogue got up to beat the shit out of him. They're like on the moon and Rogue is just, she punched him and he flew through a wall into like a weird temple ruin. And then he gets up and heals and he like, all right, round 2.
Did you miss that?
What?
Oh, they weren't on the moon. It was an asteroid that he picked up out of the Earth. That was the remains of a city that he started for mutant kind when he tried to be good.
Oh, yeah.
And a giant sentinel showed up and fucking nuked the shit out of it and blew it up, killed all these people, including Gambit, who, once again, if you get a chance to, just go watch that scene. It's so cool.
I enjoyed this so much that this isn't like a podcast watch and then be done with until we have to rewatch it or something.
Yeah.
This is like, maybe I will watch the entire, like, and we have so much other shit that I need to watch, like The Boys and whatever.
I gotta start watching House of the Dragon because that's coming out soon
Fucking
too.
shit, add it to the list. So, but
comes out next month.
Stop.
Both.
Stop.
And
stop.
Only because I don't know what the end is, but I know it's there.
There's 3 different shows coming out in June. I like this so much. I'm gonna go back and watch the ones that I missed.
Yeah,
because I had to make sure that I got the ending.
I thought about going back and watching the 92
I'm
ones.
thinking about it.
And but then I saw the animation. I'm like, it's a bit weak compared to what I currently saw, which seemed very much like 90s animation mixed with almost like Archer style.
Yeah,
not quite, but like
they just modernized the 90s.
Yeah, and I mean they updated all of their designs. Yeah. Also, just like Storm. Wow. I didn't know she was that badass.
Like Halle Berry.
I forgot that's who she was.
Yes. Especially the first 3 X-Men movies. All right,
maybe
man.
Just stop hiring her to play superheroes.
Yeah, it hasn't worked out.
No.
Like, I get it. But somebody's really got to tell her, or somebody in the casting department needs to realize she's not doing the character justice.
Not at all.
Because and again, this is with most of these X-Men characters. I love Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman, to my brain, is Wolverine. He is not Wolverine in terms of who the character actually is.
In the early films, he is, when he's more animalistic.
No.
Yeah, isn't he? I mean, I didn't see a lot of those, but I saw like clips of it here or there. He seemed a bit... Also, he calls everybody bub, just like this guy, constantly trying to bang Jane, like this guy. Just fucking...
Maybe it's just more a look thing, because Wolverine is just an angry midget.
Yeah, he's very wide.
Are we allowed to say that word?
I don't know. This guy says mental midget on live TV all the time, so...
Wolverine is a very angry, short king.
It's a hockey reference for those who know.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
This dude on a panelist thing looks at hockey games all the time and goes, "Well, I'm no mental midget, but," and then he just goes off, and I'm like, I don't think you can say that.
Why are you talking like that about a disabled person?
I think he thinks it's PC, but I think he's making
it's not. It's making it worse.
Worse, right?
fucking show.
There's so much good about it. I don't even know what to fucking talk about for really
Second
like
beer.
half of it. Oh shit! You know what? Hold on.
Can you take me higher? That's Hugh Jackman's Wolverine up until I think Logan gave me those vibes.
That orange cat, baby kitty.
Steak box.
Hold on. I'm hold on.
Is it
I just read
expired?
something concerning.
Is it expired?
No. Okay, we're good. It was called the 12.5% beer project. It's 6.5%. They didn't reach their goal.
The only time I've had a beer that's
I don't know what's going on there.
12% is Mad Elf, and that shit hits.
I don't know what that is. Right? What is that? Steak.
It's so refreshing for a hot second, and then it's just.
Now, give me that back.
I like this one. No, oh, no, but it's got the cat.
No.
Oh, are these local?
I don't fucking know.
Ocean, New Jersey?
They've been in my fridge for a year.
Oh.
Ow, my knee.
Yeah, so anyway, in conclusion, once again,
Baby kitty.
I love watching and reviewing things.
Yes.
I love when it's something that we like.
Yes.
The problem is when it's something we like, you can nitpick, but it's not easy to talk about.
Okay, well, I'm going to have one right now. I'm going to nitpick. Cyclops and Phoenix, bad parents. I'm going to say it. They're bad parents. They failed every fucking step of the way, and they're like, I'm going to do what my father couldn't and say goodbye. You still weren't there. You still abandoned your kid.
You abandoned the
and
kid.
you allowed him to be a fucking cyborg.
Okay, you need to push the mic away from... If you're going to yell, back up a little bit. Welcome to Mike.
Getting closer.
Stop it. Welcome to Microphone 101 Part 2.
I just got to hold it. I'm just going to start holding it.
No, because then all it does is get this...
Hey.
So if I could nitpick... Not even nitpick. Fuck nitpicking. This show redeemed Cyclops for me because I thought Cyclops
He was so
was
cool.
a fucking bitch.
Pussy ass
Bro,
bitch.
In the first episode,
Not James Marston. That's fucking Red Dead. What's his name? James Marston.
James Marsden.
Ah, he's not a Red Dead character.
No.
Sounds just like it though.
He does. Arthur Morgan.
Yes. Well, John Marston was the
John
first
Marsden.
one.
Who's Arthur Morgan?
The second one.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't played either.
What? Sorry. What?
In the first episode, this is gonna be so
I
interesting
like
to
how the
fucking cut
audio that
around.
doesn't help at all, but on the one that you edit, that's gonna help a lot.
Yes. Cyclops in the first episode, they're fighting, and I'm still trying to figure out if I like the show or not. It's the first first scene. And there's a lot of weird, like Rogue is saying some shit and it's weird quotes. Cyclops is saying some shit and I'm sitting there talking to you going, people don't fucking sound like this. And then Cyclops does this thing where he goes to fight these bad guys and like kick his visor off. He's sitting there, he's like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? He's like, I don't remember what he says. He's like, psych bitches. And then he just opens his eyes and kills everyone in the building.
Yeah, I like that. Every time he took his glasses off in like the live action movies, from what I saw,
Yeah.
I didn't see all of them. It was always just like, oh no, my glasses fell off. And this, he's like, fuck it, die.
But it's cool because he can control it too with the
He
visor.
uses it for movement.
With the yes,
Yes!
that's so cool. I would have
so
never
good.
thought
Yeah,
of that.
He turned into a rocket ship.
He would just. I only noticed it too in the first episode though, because
First
maybe I
couple.
just got used to it. But
Yeah.
he was just like he's sitting there. First of all, his combat skills are not good. His combat skills are like block, 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 block.
Can we just talk about how much of a fucking design flaw that is, where they tied up his arms and he was useless?
Yes.
He couldn't even shake it off his face.
No. But then he's jumping around. He's like bang, bang, and then he has to get away from someone, so he shoots the floor and he like moves away and then he shoots it. Like he's so fucking cool.
You ever think his glasses like fell off and someone tried to get his attention to be like, they're over there, and they're like, hey, what's his name? Like Steve? Stan? Scott
Scott Summers.
And they're like, Scott. And he was like, what? And it just
he swung his head and they
the glasses were already off, and they're like, Scott. And he's like, what? And it's just dead. Everyone
it's
dead.
just it's all directions.
Yes.
It blows everything up.
It's not though. It's just Here, I have such a big thing, and it's not the show, it's him as a character.
Is it when he...
Sunglasses will not work. I do not care if it's just the same material. The sides are completely open. He can wear goggles, like welding goggles.
He can, because then they're like...
He can wear those ones that Django had that had the side flaps and shit, maybe. But like, watch it. But like, wearing aviators, no,
definitely
not gonna work.
I'm sure there's some in-universe explanation for it too.
Down here
That's because you're screaming. Whose fault is that?
The beers
in a tree.
This is good.
I think
Really
one of my favorite twists in the show, though, is when they're like nonchalantly too, and when it first happens, is he's like, "I just had a kid. Life is good. I'm gonna leave the X-Men," and then they're like, "Actually, she's a clone. You've been fucking a clone. You had a kid with a clone. Fuck you."
And then they just left it.
Yes,
for like
and
3
then
episodes.
At the end of the show, they're like, "Listen." Like, the writers are talking to you through the show. They're like, listen.
Yeah.
Just think of them as the same person.
I mean,
okay?
you were there
like,
when it was happening. She turned into the Goblin Queen?
It's a bad name.
Where are the goblins?
Such a bad
How is she
name.
the queen?
Actually, her name is Madeline.
How many fucking times can she go evil? In different ways.
Yes.
Not the same evil.
No.
Different
the Goblin
evil.
Queen. That's a bad name.
It
Has
is.
no... I
control
was...
fire. What do you do? Oh, I clearly am the Goblin Queen. Really took a real long time to think about that one, didn't you, Madeline?
It's so... Because, too, they make it so epic. Like, her transformation and her suit changing, and then she bursts in. She's like, "I'm here to kill all you bitches." They're like, "Oh, my God." She goes, "And by the way, I'm the Goblin Queen." And everyone's like...
Also, just
what do I say to that?
We also touched on this earlier. The characters that we do not know because we don't know how they're canonically supposed to be because we got the Fox versions of them. Did not know Rogue was Southern.
Nope.
The first couple episodes I watched it, I was so confused. I'm like,
Nightcrawler's German.
Why? What?
Nightcrawler's German.
He is always supposed to be. He is in the movies.
Is he really?
He's just got a German accent, but in this he actually talks German. By the way, so much cooler than the movies.
Yes, 100%.
Amazing.
So much tele.
Did you see it
and
when
then
he
they
was
showed
fencing?
what it's like when he's pulls someone through teleportation.
Yeah, and
that's
he also
trippy.
confirmed that Mystique is his mom because for a while she was his dad, but then they changed that canon. But it's nice to know which canon this is in.
Wait a second. At one point, she was his dad. Okay.
Yes, Mystique was Nightcrawler's father, but they went, "That's weird. She could be the mom." His dad, I don't know. You gotta ask Isaiah about that one. He's the one who informed me about it.
I'm really good. Beast.
Cool
character.
Didn't like him.
Not Kelsey
Did
Grammer.
you know that he is a horrible fucking... I want to say human being, but he's not. Kind of. He's a horrible human being.
Yeah.
He also commits like mass genocide and human testing and all these. Not in the shows and everything, but like in the Isaiah goes off sometimes and it's like he gets drunk and he just starts talking about X-Men. So like I just have some stuff. Also, what a great fucking villain Magneto is. How can you hate a villain
so
who's
handsome.
so clearly correct? He's correct.
He's correct.
He's
yes,
correct.
yes. He's that I can concede. I didn't like his quick turn though. I didn't like how they spent so long being like, "Look, Magneto is the good guy. The X-Men were left to him.
Yeah.
This is his thing." And then at one point in the episodes, they're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, we killed a bunch of people," and he was like, "I'm the bad guy again."
Fuck you. I really hated that his whole backstory is that he was in the camps in World War II, and for like the first 4 episodes, he's like, "The struggles when I was a child." I'm like, "Yes, but what struggles?" And then he did another thing. I had a very tough time as a child. I'm like,
"Go into detail.
Stop avoiding the fact that you were in a concentration
Tell
camp.
us about the camps."
It's kind of a big part of your backstory.
Yes.
And then like later on in the show, he's up there and he's doing whatever, and he's got the numbers on his wrist. I'm like, there you go. That's
Some
what
kind
he
of
did.
character explanation.
Which
Thank you.
could have been in the 5 seasons prior to that, but I didn't watch that.
I'm sure they were. What I think my favorite out of everything.
Yes.
My favorite part is that, and again, I'm sure this was something that was in the original run of the show. It's just the comics, but in a moving picture.
Yes.
In the world of the comics, most of the time, there's these hundreds of heroes and all these things, and they're all just on the same planet. And sometimes they're like, "I just don't feel like helping out. I really don't give a shit."
Yes.
In this show, once things got really bad, and they were like, "Oh my God, look, there's a meteor that's like could cause a mass extinction on the planet and all the X-Men are fucked up. It would just constantly cut to like, oh, Daredevil's doing a thing, but Daredevil can't do shit.
Yeah.
Oh, look, Captain America and Iron Man are there and they're talking to the fucking U.S. government, but they can't do shit. It's just, and even Doctor Strange is like, I'm in the middle of doing a surgery with all my magic powers.
Why are you still a doctor? You're magic now.
Not
Stop
only
doing surgery.
We're missing the important part. He's
That
a
is
doctor.
a very important
He's
part.
a doctor doing surgery with his fucked up hands in full costume. He's not wearing scrubs or anything.
While using magic
Yes.
to hold the tools. And Peter's on the street, mid-apocalypse, no suit. With Mary Jane, just window shopping.
Yes.
And Daredevil's fighting for his life.
Daredevil's
Looks so cool.
he's-
He looks so cool. Also, who was in it, which I know you didn't notice because I didn't fucking notice until Isaiah brought it up.
Who?
Anya Taylor-Joy's character from the New Mutants, Morph actually turns into at one point. She's the blonde girl with the sword that he has there.
Oh.
And I think her actual version shows up later on, who looks a bit older, and she's with this like dude in a robe who looks really menacing, but I have no idea who the fuck that is. There's a lot of other characters that I just have
There's
no
so
idea.
many characters
There's
that
so
show
many
up.
characters I do not know because I don't pay attention to anything else besides some of the more recent movies. So all these characters could be iconic as fuck, and
I
I'm
have
just
no
like,
idea.
ooh, look at that pink dude who's a blob with a skeleton but giant fucking eyeballs.
But I just love that there's all of this shit and so much going on, and there's still like, nah, the X-Men got it. It's fine.
I want to talk about how the X-Men nails diversity and how Marvel's cinematic universe tries to and fails in comparison. I did some looking up. That's not how that sentence
Did some digging.
I did some digging.
There
Thank
you
you,
go.
today. And I noticed that every single person in the Marvel Cinematic Universe who's part of the mainline squad is either American, alien, or from a fictional country. No one's foreign.
Oh.
And then you go to the X-Men, where half of them are from
All
different
over the
countries.
planet.
They have
Yeah.
all these whatever. And then in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they're trying to finally add other superheroes, like the one from Moon Knight, who's like, I'm an Egyptian superhero, whatever.
Yeah.
Haven't seen her since.
I have no idea who the fuck she is.
No idea what the fuck's
No.
happening. And this squad, it's just like
So many
the
different
Avengers feel more like an
backstories.
American team rather than world
Yes.
defenders, and the X-Men just
yeah.
are just like we're
Which
here for
I'm
Earth.
sure is the point. I'm sure the entire point of the X-Men is the diversity and the inclusion, but you don't actually want to call it that, which is exactly what they should do, by the
Yes.
way. Like, if you want to make... It is one... We don't get political on the podcast. It is one
Third
thing...
week in a row.
It is one thing to sit here and go, all right, you know, this is this character in this context. You know, what if we made her look... What if instead of being whatever, she was this?
Yeah.
It's a whole other thing to come out and be like, my name is Bob Iger. Little Mermaid, black.
You did a mic drop and shit.
Yes, but like it's one thing to just do it and gloat about it and gender swap or do whatever. It's another thing for you to be in the X-Men and just be like, oh yeah, by the way, this guy, like, this is non-binary person. They can morph into whatever. This is an alien blue-looking dude. He's actually part German. He's pretty cool. This is Magneto. He was in a concentration
You
camp.
can't state things because it feels forced. You have to show the character development and be like,
But
oh,
it
okay.
also might just be the situation because the
Could be.
X-Men, again, we haven't watched the whole show. I don't know if there's like an origin story to them and what shit, but it definitely feels like literally anyone they put in there belongs and it's perfectly fine.
Yeah. Fuck, I had something else that was really good.
Get
Now
over
it's just
it.
gone. It's fucking gone. It has to do with the X-Men doing it better than Marvel too. Oh yes, Heft. It's
Heft?
so great to see depth and serious fucking
Mhm.
trauma and anger and just
In a
sadness and
30-minute
death
cartoon.
that in a cartoon
Death that lasts?
that's permanent or
Mhm.
whatever, that we're no longer getting in the Marvel Cinematic Universe because what the problem is, and I realized it by watching this.
Money.
No.
Huh?
No. It's not believing in their concept. Not they are too afraid to evolve, and Kevin Feige is kind of sitting here going, this is what worked, rinse and repeat.
I
We're
don't
going
think
to
it's
do
Kevin
that
Feige.
again."
I think
It's all of it. I'm not going to blame him specifically, but it's clearly...
Yeah.
You know what? No, I am. I'm going to fucking blame Kevin, and this is why. And I'm not going to say it's necessarily a bad thing, but I don't think it's working. When I first realized they were doing it, which was immediately after Endgame, when they announced everything else that they were doing, I'm like, okay, so they're going to start from the ground up again, and they're going to build up to another Avengers-level threat, and then it's going to be another arc. You can't do that anymore. You built up and now you have to do what this is. We came into a universe where this was already their world. All of this shit
Balls to
already
the wall.
happened. Balls to the wall. You cannot go, okay, we're going down again. You have to go higher. You have to make deaths matter. You have to make the world actually horrified about what's happening. Every single moment needs to matter, and this has to be grand and huge, because now you're in the area where you're having cosmic villains, and cosmic villains have cosmic threats where the world is constantly dying.
It's so
you
much
can't
more
just
than
be
the
like,
world.
oh my god, there's fucking Galactus showing up. Good thing these 4 people are here. It's just like, obviously it's their villains.
Funny
whatever.
quip.
Yeah, just, oh no, the world's ending. Better call 3 of the Avengers. No, you get everyone's ass over there. 4 of them are gonna die. And guess
Hundreds
what?
of people.
In between, when you want to make those new fucking movies, you want that Egyptian girl coming in. Guess what? There's a slot that just opened up. Someone's dead.
Somebody's dead.
Exactly. That's how that works.
So I'm gonna give the excuse though, is because now it's fucked, right?
it's too far. It's too far gone.
It's not even that it's too far gone. It's fucked. It's not Kevin's fault, and now it's a forced course correction, because we know how this is going to go.
Yeah.
Right. It was, you had 10 years of success, then they went, all right, Disney Plus and the pandemic simultaneously. So then Disney's like, pump out all this content, make sure it's fucking everything. So much of it sucks because they're putting out too much too quick, and now they're in course correction mode. So now at the point where Kevin's probably like, all right, well, in this point in the arc, I wanted us to start building up and then bringing in new heroes. They'd be like, no, do what you did before. Bring Robert Downey Jr. back. Here's a blank check. Figure it out.
No.
And he's going to be like, no, but what about, they go, no, just do Endgame, but one more time.
You can bring RDJ back. You can bring
Chris Evans.
Steve Rogers, yes.
That's the most annoying.
You can bring him back.
Did you hear he was signed on and they're just going to do a Disney Plus show of him returning the stones?
Yeah, it's bad. You need to
I wanted
bring
that
them
like
back,
5 years ago.
and you need to bring them back with a reason.
Yes.
You need to bring them back with whatever. They did, I know, the Winter Soldier thing, but maybe bring back a different Captain America. You got time travel, you got different things now. Bring back Captain Hydra. Actually make him
so good.
go down that route. Give me the evil versions. Give me the weird versions. Don't just give me, oh, look, it's Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield. Not complaining. But it's just like, it's Spider-Man. Oh, look, it's Spider-Man. Oh, look, it's Spider-Man. It's
now
Peter. Sorry.
Now you have to do something different.
Yes.
You need to go bigger.
Or go home.
It just, now it feels like, and it sucks because this show is so good.
It
feels like
so good.
It feels like they're just checking boxes in the properties they're doing now, where it's like, all right, we have to go to an Avengers movie. It's been like 5 years. We have to do it. All right, Fantastic Four, we told you we were going to do it. We're like 6 years too late. Now we have to do it.
My thought process, which went off the rails in the last half of the episode for the finale, was that they're like, oh my God, they're gone now. I'm like, leave it there. Do a little bit of a cliffhanger.
And jump right back
tease
to
a
it.
little thing.
Yeah.
They didn't only go through time and space, but in a different dimension. And now that squad is the X-Men, already knows each other and everything in the MCU, live action. And it's just a squad
That would have been so
that's
good.
there.
Pre-established. Boop.
And then you know of the X-Men. So even if you're not watching everything, you're not following the show or whatever, you know the X-Men exist as an entity and they're a team. So have them come in with that team bond already and just have it in a way where they accept it.
Because I'm so fucking tired of origin stories, man.
Exactly. And this show did it great because it wasn't
There was
an
no
origin
origin story.
It was season 6 of a show that I missed the first 5 seasons for. But it was just like, it was kind of like what we said earlier, where it's just like, you go in, you don't know what's going on. Some of these characters I don't even know. Like, I'm like, why is Gambit speaking French one second and English the next? And Isaiah was like, he's fucking from Louisiana. And I'm like, that makes sense. Okay, next question.
Thank you for explaining.
But after it gets past that stuff and you're just like, well, wait, you kind of stop asking those questions.
And you just go with
and
the
just
punches.
accept who these people are, and they build on it, and they make you like these characters. They took a show it had 5 seasons of backstory that I've never seen.
Yeah.
Took characters I hated or didn't even know, and
Made
made
them
me
interesting.
fall in love with them.
Yep.
When a fucking breakneck speed of a show
Goblin Queen.
in one season. And it was fantastic. And also, I appreciate Josh Brolin's Cable way more now.
Same.
He did a good job.
He really did.
Except
Cable.
he did not use any of those psychic powers.
No, that was cool though.
It was really
That's when
cool.
when she's like, I gotta stop you and say you're my son. And he's like, actually, also telekinetic. Bah!
Yeah. He's
And you're like, oh, that actually makes
yeah.
complete sense.
I was also confused because I think I misheard him. I thought, well, he was like, sometimes it skips a generation and then went, and I'm like, but it didn't. So why,
No,
why did you
he
bring
said
it
something
up?
like, usually it doesn't skip a generation or something.
Oh, okay.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So then you were like, oh, she gave him powers.
I'm like, that's pretty cool. Do it again.
And then he got the shit beat out of him and his arm cut off. But like, I don't have my powers no more.
And like, I know we haven't really talked about it because everything else in the show has been so good, but the villain was so good. And I'm not even talking, Bastion, not even Magneto. Magneto's the villain, but
Magneto's fucking cool.
He's just like their villain, he's their bud, he's their friend, he's their nemesis, he's
my
their uncle,
X-Men.
he's their fucking douche, like, whatever.
He's the lover.
Yeah, and then you got this whole fucking thing with this whole new villain. At first, I thought he was Magneto from the future, and I'm like, Magneto's not dead, and this is him, and that he's shaving him and everything, like he's gonna shave off the locks, and they're gonna be like, look, we're the same, and then they're like, no, that's not it at all. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
More sexual tension, actually.
Exactly. I think what it is between Magneto and Professor X is that Professor X tries to care so much, and he cares for him in that way.
Yeah.
Where he feels like he has to save him, where he does love him in that way, where he's kind of got that connection at this point. I don't think he wants to bang him, but there definitely is love there.
Differ.
We have to talk about that.
Oh, Brendan, anything else in closing? I think I want to move on to the...
There's more?
No, the other show that we were supposed to watch.
No, I didn't watch it.
Smiling Friends.
This is a good week.
What a good show, man. Fucking shit.
Smiling Friends.
Smiling Friends. It's 2 out of 2. There's only like 2 episodes out right now. But Smiling Friends...
I know I need to make the thumbnail the X-Men, but I was looking so forward to making the Smiling Friends thumbnail.
Smiling Friends is fucking great. I love the shit out of this show, and it's just so...
Our sense of humor.
It is. It's so fucking strange, man.
And the different animation styles like catch you so off guard and you're like, I'm uncomfortable now. Why is this like this? But then like it adds to the show. The new season, the video game character.
Oh yeah, just show
the whole time.
Hated it.
The first season, Satan just being the fucking essentially a Redditor shit poster while gaming
basically,
and doing whatever, ordering Uber
But
Eats.
also like stop motion animated?
So good. But it's also like action figure stop motion animated.
Yes.
Like it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's an Adult Swim show. I wonder if Seth Green helped.
I'd believe it.
It's also... Ooh, wow.
Sorry, I had to yawn.
I had to burp.
End of the day, I'm very tired.
I'm feeling it. I'm alive. I went to bed at 2 a.m. last night and I woke up at 11. I got energy right now.
We're different. I had a whole ass fucking day of work.
Yeah,
It's the
I don't
humor.
even want to talk about
the
it.
humor is all over the place, and it's perfect because it's like us. Not even talking about season 1, but just the new, like there's, I think in episode 2, there's a jacked guy that comes in and he's like, you have to make me smile.
He rips off his nose.
He rips with his bare hands.
Sorry, man, that was bothering me. And then it cuts out to him, he's like, ah! And it's just like...
Because it's little things like that where you're like, oh my God, look, this is going to be humorous and whatever, and then it's going to cut away. And he's like, no, you actually just ripped my fucking nose off. I'm in pain.
Yeah.
Scream at the top of my lungs.
And also that weird, non-humorous, just awkward moments in life, like the devil with the Uber Eats dude. The whole finale of season 1, which isn't that great of an episode because it's only that weird humor.
Yeah.
But like also like season 1, you got like there's only 2 episodes out right now, which is why we're talking about season 1 a lot too. But the whole thing with the frowning friends, where he starts getting all like Hitlerish on them and everything, and everyone's like, I don't really
know if
agree
I like
with that.
this.
And then instead of addressing it in any way, he just goes up there to try and beat his ass, and the guy just starts crying, and then there's an assassination, and then you're just like,
does he pee on himself too?
yeah, there's so much happening that you don't have time to process the fucked up stuff you just saw. And that's what
I
makes
love
it
the
so
shit
good.
out of this show, man.
It's so good.
And it all started because that fucking clip you see all over Instagram. He's like, don't scare me like that again, man. I'm going to punch you.
And he does it, and he goes, ugh.
I told you I was going to punch you, man. I don't know why the fuck you would bother doing that.
But the guttural sound that's like you got your wind knocked out of you is just so accurate and funny that you can't help but almost cry from laughter. Because not only have you been the guy punched, you've also been the guy doing the punching at some point in your life. So you relate to both, and it's just so good.
This is what happens when we watch good stuff. Brendan gets very excited.
Also,
Fat orange cat.
You know, I keep not drinking unless we're doing the podcast, so... I wasn't planning on drinking it all this week. I'm like, I know you're going to want to drink on the podcast.
Yeah.
I could have 1 glass of whiskey and do whatever. You're like, I want beer.
I do.
And then I found these in the back of my fridge.
Listen. First of all, today is the end of May. Before the last week of May.
Yes.
Summertime is coming. My Instagram feed, as you know, they're curated based off of the things that I say because our phones are listening to us. My Instagram feed is nothing but Twisted Tea. In the official Twisted Tea Instagram account.
Yeah, except it doesn't make me thirsty. I just find it funny.
I think it's hilarious, and then not all I think about, okay? Because that's alcoholism.
It's okay, you can admit it.
One of the great things that I think about is drinking.
Yes.
We're not big drinkers anymore compared to the last 50 episodes of the podcast.
Compared to January, where I was drinking
Where we were
so much.
How many old fashions did we have in that one recording session? 9?
No.
This was like an all-day thing.
5? We were drinking before. Oh, we were drinking all day too.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, we could have. It's a very strong possibility. I mean, this is my second
excited.
beer, and I feel like I've been drinking all day.
Really?
I mean, like, I'm not that level of drunk, but I feel like
Well, but this
bloated
also
and
happens
everything,
to
like
me
I've been drinking all day because my body's not used to it
Yeah,
anymore.
me too. When we drink for the podcast,
Yeah.
I usually feel it a little bit, and I don't feel it all until after we stop and I stand up, and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling though.
Usually, I just go because we're gonna finish this. It's gonna be 11 at night. I'm gonna go right in my bed.
Same.
I'm not gonna fall asleep right away, but I'll throw on some fucking YouTube or whatever. Because you see my room, I got that set up with the giant fucking TV and everything.
TV.
To where I'm just doing whatever.
Dude, what a great fucking show.
Yeah, I don't know what to watch now.
Why?
I have one show that I've been watching that.
How I Met Your Mother's coming back to Netflix.
Yeah, I don't need that. You know what? That's a great topic. Let's talk about that.
How I Met Your Mother?
It does not need a new season. But if they're gonna do it, hold up.
Wait a
Don't
second.
come at me like that.
Wait. How I Met Your Mother's coming to Netflix is in the show.
Oh no, they're coming out with a new season.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
And I'm sitting here going, what are you going to do? Are you going to do the time when the mother was actually alive? Or are you going to go straight into him and Kobe Smulders having a relationship and it falls apart in 6 weeks like the rest of the fucking show? This is the part that's going to get edited out.
No, it's not. No, they're not. You see Barney makes a cameo in How I Met Your Father?
No, because I didn't watch it, but
No,
I
me
heard
neither.
about that.
I heard about it too. No, they're not. It's just coming back to Netflix. There's no new season coming.
No, I heard there was more.
No.
I just read it the other day.
Nope. I'm sure How I Met Your Father has a fucking...
Canceled after 2 seasons.
Oh, it's canceled?
Yeah.
Good. It probably sucked.
Did. Hillary Duff should have known better.
Remember when she was trying to make an entire, Oh, there it is.
Yep.
Canceled by deadline after 2 seasons. And
Okay,
of course, the one photo they use is Barney showing up, not anything to do with the show.
I got tricked by a meme. But if you were to make a season 10 of that show, would you do it as a 10th final spin-off season of when the mother was alive, or would you just continue the story? Because honestly, the actress who plays the mother, I fucking love.
I fucking love her too.
I would love
the
to see more
problem
of
though
her.
is that all of the characters have gotten older.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do a small 8-episode season
Yeah.
from before she died,
Yeah.
because now they've all aged into that age.
Yeah.
But I'd also totally be down post finale.
It's crazy how Ted just got married recently, too.
He did too. He's also
for him.
a singer on tour doing weird.
He is just as weird as Ted really is.
He is, but he also
definitely says encyclopedia in real life.
he also does that thing where it's his biggest role and he tries to distance himself from it.
Yeah, but he doesn't
Thad.
have any other role. They're doing a new show for him.
I
He's
know
coming
that.
back.
But
He doesn't distance it. I just don't think there's a reason to talk about it because it ended
He
when we were in
should.
high school.
He should.
Which is 8
Blue
years
Mountain
ago.
for you.
7 for you.
Yes. Blue Mountain State's a good show. Just like the Smiling Friends.
Which is much... I'm going to say it's better. It's better than BMS.
No, it's not. You're fucking
BMS
wrong.
has more content right now, but pound for pound, the episodes we have and the amount of time we have in this show is making me fucking cry every time I watch it. It's that
Pretty good.
fucking
It is
funny.
pretty good.
Now, when I was a kid, I used to watch Robot Chicken. I used to sometimes stay up and watch
you're that kind of
Aqua
degenerate.
Teen, Hunger Force. That one.
The Boondocks.
No, didn't watch that one. But Super Jail would come on sometimes while I was falling asleep, and I'd
Sailor
wake up and be
Moon.
like, "What the fuck is going on right now?" But I didn't watch that. You got stuff like that, Moral Oral.
That's my favorite thing is when you would sleep with the TV
yeah.
on, you wake up and you're just like, this is the most...
Yeah.
Am I having a fever dream or is this the most
that's what
fucked
it
up
was.
thing I've ever
Everybody
seen?
else had the fucking childhood thing of waking up to the George Lopez theme song. Yeah, but I didn't because I went to bed with Cartoon Network on, so I would wake up to that fucking shit. And I'd wake up and Metalocalypse would be on or some shit, and I'm like, what is happening? What is this? And this show, 20 years later, somehow still feels
Hilarious.
just as Adult Swim as the original Adult Swim shit. And it's so good. You know what's really funny? there's an internet series online where the dude who created the show clearly made that first, and the character has the same nose and the same voice as the main character, but he's really tiny. I'll show you a couple after
Is it
this.
Glep?
Yeah. Wait, no, not Glep. The yellow one. I know Glep's name, but I don't know the two main ones' names.
Neither do I.
Also, we didn't talk about him at all. The small pink one. His weird facial expressions.
What do we call? Yeah, especially in the new season, it's doing some weird zoom stuff or like some weird textured.
No, not even that. It's whenever he gets super excited about it, he has this character trait where they're doing, we're gonna do this, and he goes, we're gonna do that, yay! And
he just puts his hands up in the air.
And it's so quick.
Mr. Boss, Mr. Man, Jacob the Goblin, Forest Demon, Centaur, Jimmy Fallon.
What are the main ones?
I don't know. I'm trying to find it.
Why is Jimmy Fallon billed higher? It wasn't even him.
Charlie. Pim and Charlie.
Pim and Charlie. Yes. Okay. Jimmy Fallon. That was a really uncomfortable moment in that show.
Google Smiling Friends, the characters that come up are none of them. Look. Oh, because it's the voice actors. Jimmy Fallon, Forest Demon, Mr. Math, Mr. Boss, Jacob the Goblin, Wendy Worm, William Worm. Nothing about the main characters. It's just a bunch of random shit.
It's such... I love how it also takes tropes of regular... I was about to say regular shows and then reference the regular show in the same sentence.
Regular shows like the regular show.
Yes, exactly. Which is the most unregular show there is.
Entirely.
Hence the
I
name.
think that's the... Yeah.
But to where there's these animalistic creatures and they're like banging these like humanoid creatures and stuff like that. Like they don't obviously show up, but like they got this like love interest going on. You can clearly tell there's like a long-term relationship going on. So there's all that. There's this like sexual tension between these characters and stuff.
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Okay, well you watch the show, you'll get there. And then in this, you got the Shrimpina episode where there's the shrimp guy who's trying to find his girlfriend, and the entire time, because of those like things that have been set up in our mind that have just been in cartoons already, he's just going, oh, it's a woman. And the entire episode, you're like, clearly this is that shrimp's girlfriend. And then at the end, when Charlie's talking to Pim, he's just like, Pim, man, her name's Shrimpina. She'd be a shrimp. And he's like, yeah, but, oh, wow, I really thought she'd be human, man. And like, but us watching it, like, I also fully accepted that that was going to be Shrimpina.
Yeah, completely.
And it has those subversions of like your expectations and everything. It's just so good.
It's fresh out of 94.
Smiling Friends.
Makes total
Good
sense.
fucking job, guys. I'm happy for them. This show is amazing.
So fucking good.
The fucking one I just showed you earlier with the grandma with the lollipop. Good, more for me, man. I'm not doing that motion on camera.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brendan. Do it.
Do it.
More for me. See, and the thing is, too, you can tell it's our sense of humor because it makes sure to linger on the important stuff.
Yeah.
Like her shoving a lollipop down her throat.
And then
Hilarious.
pausing for a minute for you to be like, that was fuck. And then she does it again.
Yes.
But
She's like, I need to double down.
The comedic timing is really what makes the show. Because they waited just long enough for you to be like, what the fuck? And then as you say fuck, she does it again.
Yes.
And you just have no time to recover. It's so good.
So I'm really happy that we spoke about these two things instead of what we were going to do, which was If and Back to Black.
That would have been a terrible episode.
It would have been a horrible episode that we wouldn't have had fun in. It would have been one of those episodes where we go, we have to put something out this week. X-Men 97, great idea.
Great.
I'm really glad that we also both came to the same idea where I was like, Brendan, we have 3 options, and the last one is X-Men 97. You went, yeah, I was thinking that one too. That's a good idea.
It's the only one that seemed viable. Because we had to go see If, and I'm like, not only do I not want to go to the movies, I don't care about this movie in particular.
No.
And this is very much a kid's movie, but not only is it a kid's movie, it's a kid's movie that isn't part of a franchise from when we were kids. Whatever.
There's no nostalgia and no reason to
tired of
pull you
Ryan
in.
Reynolds and John Krasinski. And like the only reason why I'm not tired of Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool 3 is because we haven't had a Deadpool in like 10 years now, which is wild to think about. When did Deadpool 2 come out? Not 10 years, but like a good while. Like I'm gonna go at least 6. And not the Christmas version, because that's when I really started hating him.
2018.
2018, so 6 years. Yeah.
That is a long fucking time.
So it's been a while, so I'm ready for him to be that character again. I'm ready for Deadpool, and I rewatched Deadpool semi-recently, and it holds up better than I thought it would. But
shit, fuck ass.
I thought you had something to talk about. What?
No, I was gonna say, do you know what comes out next week that I'm hype as fuck for now because the reviews are really good?
What?
Furiosa.
Oh yeah, I heard that she only has 30 lines of dialogue,
Yeah, because it's mostly shit happened.
And what's his face had only 60 lines of dialogue in the one before this. So, what's his name? Venom. Bane.
Tom Hardy.
Tom
I
Hardy.
almost
Yes.
said Ezra Miller. That's not even
He's
close.
canceled.
Good.
Yeah, that was one of those where you're like, how did this not happen already?
Dude, we are officially in the summer movie season too.
We are. I'm so
Can't
excited.
fucking wait for Furiosa.
But I kind of been looking forward to the Planet of the Apes movie as being like the beginning of it.
Yeah.
And now that it passed, I don't know what else is coming. Like, I know we have a lot of really good shit coming out, but I don't know what it is in like as a whole or like what's week to week. Also, what a wonderful day! It has just been in my head now. I'm like, did we just witness a new movie fucking
Meme?
like quote?
I hope
meme
so.
Or whatever that like we're just gonna be quoting from years now, and someone's gonna be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" We're gonna like, do you not see the fourth Monkey movie in the trilogy, but like the sequel trilogy, not the original one that also has 5? And then they're gonna be like, "What? What did you just fucking say?"
Shout out to you guys, man. That video is done really well.
It's doing great.
I think it's our
loving it.
like second most viewed video now.
It might be number 1 right now. I'm going to double check on that. We can celebrate it right here and now.
No, number 1 is like 200 views more than it.
I thought you said it was 300.
No.
It was 500? You told me this morning.
Yeah.
Oh.
You just don't pay attention to the things I say.
No, because I'm like, there's no way in hell Always Sunny was that high. But at the same time, the Always Sunny one was like a trickle. This one is like,
Kaboom.
yeah.
I'm very pleased by it.
Mhm.
Shout out to the people. Now the beer's hitting. Now
Yeah, shout out to my thumbnails. I'm enjoying them.
that new thumbnail was good.
Mm-hmm.
Couple ones before that.
Fuck you.
Challengers was pretty good.
Challengers was the worst one out of the
Rebel
new
Moon
ones.
was the worst one, actually.
Rebel Moon was a little
It was
too dark.
a little too dark?
But it was really
You can't fucking
cool.
see it.
The Fall Guy one was great. I just could have put a little bit more time into it, but I was a little intoxicated when I was doing it, so it shows a little bit, but I think I still did a pretty good job.
What a wonderful day.
What a wonderful day. What a wonderful day.
I put that clip in the video, too.
Did you? Good.
Yes.
And it was one of those things where I saw it in the trailer, and then I was getting like, I'm like, okay, that's going to be cool. And then I saw it in the movie. I'm like, yes, I get it. What a wonderful day. And now that the movie's over, it's just still in my head.
You're like, oh,
Ugh.
what a wonderful day.
Anything else you want to touch on? Because I also watched another show today, but this week, but it's
No,
not
because then I'm
going to
talk about the Kevin Spacey documentary that we started watching on HBO Max.
I didn't even know about it, so that's
Pretty good.
is it
We get into it off camera.
okay?
It's
Is it worse
bad.
than a Nick doc?
Pretty close.
Ooh, the Nick doc wasn't that bad. Not gonna lie, I watched it after we reviewed it and everything, and it does seem to me like Dan Harmon, is that his name? Not Dan. He created Community and Rick and Morty. Dan Schneider.
Yes, Dan Schneider.
It seems like he's very much a toxic boss, but
Yeah.
I don't think he was pedophilish the way people were making it seem. I think he was
No, I
just
don't think so
abusing his
either.
power with like the massages and stuff. But the other
Yeah,
guy, that
definitely a
was
pedophile.
Yeah.
That's not a lot of wiggle room for that one.
No,
You know what's crazy? I'm looking through the summer movie season, and there's not
a whole lot.
like there's a couple.
Yeah.
I can give you a couple standouts. It's just I'm gonna do it in a week or two. Mad Max next week. Week after that, I actually have no idea.
The week after that is June.
May 31st. Because the 24th is Furiosa. 31st, I have no idea. Then there's the 7th is Bad Boys. I don't want to do that. The 14th is Inside Out 2. 21st, Bike Riders.
That one's gonna be a really weird one. For us.
28th, A Quiet Place again. Then it's Despicable Me. Maxine.
In between that, you have June 4th, The Acolyte.
Twisters.
The Boys season 4, June 13th.
June 13th.
House of the Dragon, June 2024. I think it's the week after.
The Boys, that's perfect. There's nothing that's coming out this week. Now we're just talking shop.
But I'm saying 3 weeks in a row, we have The Acolyte, The Boys.
When is The Acolyte?
It says June 4th.
Oh, that's a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Oh, that means we don't have to watch Bad Boys.
No.
Great job,
What's
Brendan.
Bad Boys?
Will Smith and Martin Lawrence.
I'm not going to fucking see
There's
that.
nothing. This is what I'm saying. There's nothing else on the list.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything big besides Deadpool and Wolverine. Is that really going to be the biggest movie of the year?
I mean, they may add a couple more announcements.
Oh yeah, Harold and the Purple Crayon.
Yeah. Umbrella Academy season 4.
Fuck that shit.
August 8th. Fuck you. Watch
Alien
the show.
Romulus is in October.
Something called
The Crow.
The Penguin.
Reagan.
Agatha.
That comes out this year, doesn't
Star
it?
Wars Skeleton Crew.
Transformers 1.
Creature Commandos. The beginning of the new DCEU.
Joker Folie à Deux.
Squid Game season 2.
Terrifier 3.
Dune Prophecy, the TV show.
Bambi the Reckoning. Is that part of the that horror universe?
Yep.
I'm totally down.
Daredevil, born
Inspired
again.
by the animated movie Bambi, will transform the innocent deer we know into a killing machine.
And now we have enough to where we can watch those 2 movies prior to it and really
Fuck
get to know
yeah.
the universe.
Only, I just hate the fact that AMC A-List will be like, no, this isn't part of A-List. This is like an artisan film.
Yeah.
You got to pay for it. Fuck you.
I feel like at that point, it'll be a little bit more mainstream.
Hopefully. Moana 2, Wicked, Space Dog,
Not watching any of that.
Lord of the Rings, The War of Rohirrim.
I'm so down for
Mufasa
that.
the Lion King.
Nope.
Sonic 3.
Yeah.
There you go. Nosferatu. Looks
Yeah. Bill Skarsgård is playing him. It's a Dracula movie. He was in SpongeBob.
Yeah, there's really... Is this a boring year for movies? Was last year pretty good?
No. Last year had so many movies that were bad. The problem is you had the writer's strike and you had all these other fucking movies that
so
are
now we're at
taking
the bad part, and everything is going to come out in like
So
2025.
now you're having, we talked about this last week or the week before. Now you're getting the movies that waited, so now they're even better, or you're going to have a little bit of a gap. So we're going to have some weird things. There's probably going to be a couple summer movies of us just watching old movies or like big franchises. You and me have been really trying to watch Alien. There's a new Alien movie
Alien
coming out.
Romulus. And then from that, we're going to have to watch the Predator movies.
All the Aliens. We're going to watch all the Predators. I'm going to make you finally watch the fucking Ringer because me, Timmy, and the internet is in love with it, and you've yet to watch it.
I still have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Johnny Knoxville fixes the Special Olympics to fix his friend's fingers because he loses them
We
in
were
an
going to get
accident.
ice cream?
Yes.
Okay.
That one.
That's fine. Would you like to be done?
I thought we were going to be done 20 minutes ago. I don't know why we kept going.
I was having a good time. This is the part of the podcast where things devolve and we just kind of hang out.
Yeah.
It's definitely the
You have
beer.
a lot of beer left, don't you? Yeah, it's
Half.
a heavy can.
Yeah.
Okay. This has been the Anything Bowl where anything goes.
My name's Miguel.
And I'm Brendan. See you next
And
week.
go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself, San Diego.
And your mother.